Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett back on the program. Tim, nice to see you. I was glad to see folks like Corey Mills and Matt Gaetz and other members teaming up with the Heritage Foundation today to do this hearing since you all are still on break. I know that the bipartisan team, the task force that's investigating, they made a visit out to Butler today to see firsthand themselves what it looked like, and they did a press conference as well. But I actually liked what happened in this one because you had former Secret Service agents speaking with members, a lot of veteran members, that know this is a bunch of hogwash, that you're not a 20-year-old kid in America today, have no social media presence, take shots like that in a few seconds and almost take the president out, do all this, get the drone, the bomb-making stuff, have 3 offshore encrypted accounts. You don't do all this, then, oh, by the way, our Secret Service and FBI redact statements. They cremate his body after 10 days, and we're told he's the only guy involved in trying to kill President Trump. Tim, you know I never use the phrase conspiracy theory because I think most things are government cover-ups. And right now, all signs point to our government lying to us.
Well, they don't have a very good track record. I mean, they still won't release all the stuff on the Kennedy assassination.
Right.
60 years ago, for goodness sakes. But you're right. This whole thing is reeks of a cover-up. You've got, this is why I asked to do the hearing that Monday after the shooting. And if they said, no, we're going to be at the convention, let's not. I said, no, let's do it now before they get a chance to get all their stories together because, they were not very forthcoming with information. Currently, the FBI is not either about their investigation.
Go figure.
The Secret Service, of course, is not. And this just feeds the conspiracy theorist furor, if you will, that this thing was some sort of government tie-in. Somebody needs to be asking the parents, too, who are apparently counselors of some sort.
Yes,
what's
right.
going on in that family?
Mental health counselors.
And to have the body cremated to me is just unbelievable. That just the whole thing just stinks. I mean,
that's the FBI, right, Tim? Can you clarify for me? That's the FBI, I heard, released the body back to the family, and then they chose cremation. But why did the FBI release the body in that short a time when it's an ongoing investigation of an attempted assassination of a president? This isn't like 2 gangbangers, the Bloods and the Crips in L.A. shot each other and we're trying to figure out who shot who. This is a former president of the United States, I still think was the president. But anywho, the guy took a shot at him, and in 10 days we're cremating the body. I haven't heard anything about any evidence. Do we know for a fact? Have we seen there was residue on the fingers so we know he pulled the trigger? I mean, there's lots of things that we want to hear from our government so we can think at least and put our heads to sleep at night that, oh yeah, they're working for us. They're trying to find out who this guy was and who helped him to try and kill President Trump. We don't feel that way right now, Tim.
No, and they sure were quick to wash off the roof of that building. I mean, that's evidence. Yeah. And it's pretty clear the only person who really knew what was going on that day was the kid who got his head blown off up there. He had a drone over the thing. He had, he was distance finding equipment. He had apparently a bomb in his vehicle that was going to be a distraction.
Apparently, right? Apparently.
Now, how many 20-year-olds who don't have any internet access are able to complete something like this? I don't know. None, maybe. You don't go down to your library and read a book on bomb making. This is stuff you find on the internet.
Right. But yet we know nothing about his searches. We don't see any, like you heard Bongino say, where's a Facebook picture? And Corey and those guys. They're like, where's a picture? There's nothing. Those pictures are old. We have that image of him from the police that they took over his shoulder where I guess he was looking at a phone or something. And now we have new video where he was walking past some of the concessions and stuff when he first got there. And now on the rooftop, there's video there, but that's it. You're telling me there's no trace? And why aren't you? Because look, anytime there's a shooter with an AR-15, Tim, we learn everything about the shooter in like 24 to 48 hours so the media can push that narrative. Just like Bongino said, we know, oh, they had a diary. Oh, they got teased at school. Oh, they were this, they were that. We don't know anything about this kid. Somebody's hiding stuff.
They're hiding it. They're 100% hiding it. And because it doesn't fit somebody's narrative. And it's very clear to me that there had to be some outside involvement of someone. Someone had to coach him. Someone had to put him in that proximity. Someone had to instruct him on bomb making skills. It's just, there's just too much there. And it was apparently, it was going to be radio activated. So he was going to shoot the president, blow up a van, and that was going to be the distraction. Then he was going to get away. And that's sort of a narrative I've heard, but nobody really knows for sure.
Right. That's the whole point.
And the proof of who shot the kid too is always going to be in question, because I've seen alleged pictures of his head split open on top of that building, but who knows if that's AI generated? We don't know. And then when the blood splatter and all those other things that should have been analyzed for days on end, there should have been a tarp. I mean, you've seen this thing a million times. There should have been a tarp over it, over where the body was. There should have been an outline.
Tim, I was in Vegas, okay? I left the stage about 3 or 4 songs before the Route 91 festival shooting, okay? Thank God. I was with the band Big and Rich, and we left in his bus right before Aldean, I think he started his first song, and we pulled out. So, and we saw the big black bags. We got the video of him coming up in the back elevators. We saw the hotel room and his hammer where he broke out the window. We saw all this stuff. We knew all the... We know nothing, and I'm not buying it. I'm almost out of time, but I want to just throw one thing at you. If you can put the Gateway Pundit headline up. This has nothing to do with the assassination attempt or investigation. This is crazy Nancy Pelosi, your former boss, the former speaker, saying some pretty crazy stuff in an interview. She says, if Trump wins, she's going to help Kamala become president next January 6th. And she said, quote, we're being very discreet, very reptilian, cold-blooded about what we're planning to do. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. The president, after you win in November 5th, then you get sworn in January 20th. But members of the House that win, you guys get sworn in on what day in January?
Let's see.
3rd or 4th or 5th?
3rd or 4th,
It's a couple of weeks before the president. Yeah. So in essence, then, if the Democrats would take the House, they would be in charge of it a couple of weeks before President Trump would take his oath of office. Is she claiming that if he wins, they're going to do something to try and stop him from taking office? Because that's the way I read this quote.
Well, you should read that. Jamie Raskin you might want to dig into something he said earlier, too, about stopping it. That is exactly what they will attempt to do. That will be a coup. That will cause some real problems constitutionally and otherwise over who's in charge. It's an attempt to leave Kamala Harris at the helm, and we should be very cautious of that. That's why it's so important for this House to remain in Republican hands with a huge majority, not the 4-person that we have now, or 3-person, whatever it is.
Yeah, that's why
this should scare people about the group that is. This is our last shot, Dan. If we do not get this, if they get the House and the Senate and the White House, it's over.
I agree. Folks, it's not just about Trump. It's down ballot America First candidates like Tim and others, and Senate candidates like Tim Sheehy in Montana. We need to be thinking big picture, all America First candidates, not just Trump. Tim Burchett, Tennessee Congressman, and my good friend, as always. Thank you, sir, for coming on. Take care.
Thank you, Dan. God bless you, brother. Thanks for putting the truth out there. That's what you're over the target. That's why they're firing at you.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Tim.